Hello, everybody. It's been a while. It's been a good, long time. I apologize for the irregularity of this show. If you are back and you are watching it, thank you so much for being back. My name is Brandon Jones. I am the founder, editor-in-chief, and voice of GameTrailers.com. And if you're not doing something, if you haven't been doing anything for the past 3 to 4 weeks, let's all go to the trailers. This is our trailer podcast. We are GameTrailers.com. We are here to watch trailers. I am joined faithfully by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
Hi, everybody.
And Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Yeah. So how does this work? Am I the plucky optimist, or am I like the hero character? Which one am I? Oh no, I'm the okay.
I think I'm probably more of an optimist. You're a realist, and Kyle is just a stick in the mud.
For this show, you're right. I am the real stick in the mud of this show.
But that's good. We don't want to have the same opinions every week.
Yeah.
The three of us, in short, get together to talk about trailers. If you've never seen this show before, it's pretty self-explanatory. We just watch trailers that came out this week and we talk about them. If you were a fan of the show and you wondered where the hell we went, it was tough to work this show into our production schedule. We were all racing around trying to review everything, trying to cover everything, to shoot videos, to write scripts.
Boxes, which
Unpack
I'm still
boxes, plug in equipment. And I'm pretty sure, 99.999% sure that we have worked this into our schedule. How this is going to go is we're going to record this. It is currently Thursday, October 9th. This episode is going to be going up on Sunday, so there is that 3-day gap in trailers. So if you're watching this on Sunday and some awesome trailer came out on Saturday and you're wondering why we didn't cover it, that's why we didn't. But if we can do it on Thursday and put it up on Sunday, that gives me enough time to edit it. If I'm gone on some trip or one of us is gone, we can make it up in that time. And it's just how we're going to pull the show off. So also, if you're a fan of the show, we're going to do things a little bit differently in how we're going to structure it. So before, we did the main show, and then we had an additional episode called Let's Watch, where we would watch a trailer live that we had not seen before. From this point forward, we're going to break up Let's All Go to the Trailers into 2 parts. They're not going to play right next to each other, so you can download each individual part if you want to. The first part, we're going to be covering 4 trailers, whereas previously we just covered 3. That is going to be the main episode of Let's All Go to the Trailers. If you come to the website, you see the headline, you click on it, that's what you're going to get. If you want a little bit more Let's All Go to the Trailers, you can watch our second part, in which we will watch a trailer live. We'll do a Let's Watch, and we'll also cover some other trailers you should maybe check out. This helps me in the editing process because I don't have to accordion all of our chatter into a 21-minute episode that I can just kind of let ourselves go a little bit. Usually, before I cut all the ums out, I'm just going to leave those ums in.
Oh, man.
The ums are going to be now a permanent part of Let's All Go to the Trailers. You're going to notice we a lot more than we used to. But it's going to be a little more natural. It's going to help the production pipeline get these episodes out. And most importantly, it's going to bring back the GameTrailers.com official trailer podcast. Let's all go to the trailers. Shall we?
Yes!
Let's go, everybody. This is a game, Dreamfall, that is kind of a pseudo-sequel continuation of Dreamfall: The Longest Journey, which we got on PS2 and Xbox and PC way back in the day, the turn of the century, I think we first got these games. And here's this smaller development studio that is bringing this game back. That you can obviously tell they have a strong passion for not only this genre, but this franchise. I want to bring up specifically hanging around in their office and shooting them talking about their game. So not so much Dreamfall as a franchise or Dreamfall as a game, but just the whole concept of hey, we're in our studio hanging out having fun and here's the game we're making. Does this help endear you to these developers, or do you think this helps lower your perceived production value of the game that they're making?
I think they want that. I think what they do well in those first few shots of showing their studio is show personality.
So you were endeared to them.
I'm endeared.
You kind of get a kick out of seeing these guys at work.
I'm endeared. I'm totally endeared.
What about you, Blood?
It feels to me like it's a little odd. I think it's mostly for me. I think it's just because I'm not as familiar with the franchise or what's been going on with this development. I feel like, this is kind of the culmination of what all the Kickstarter backers have been watching and all of that. And now it's all right, it's about to come out. We're getting ready, and everyone's working hard. So I think that's it. It's kind of coming in midstream to something that other people are already somewhat familiar with. They definitely look like small offices. I feel like this is not a building that was made to be an office. I feel like they're in a house that they just have emptied out, and everybody's there as close and tight as they can get.
Which, again, I don't know if you want to create the mystique that it's don't focus on us, focus on the game. Yeah, you can talk to us, but we're going to build a specific space where we do those interviews, so you don't really get the vibe. This is weird coming up. They do a cut from the same guy sitting in one chair to him sitting in a different chair. And to me, it having the disparity between those production values is a little bizarre. You know, it's like, look at how gorgeous this is. It's why we're showing you the B-roll. But hey, also look at how uncomfortable we are all crammed into this room. It's weird, and I wonder, obviously, if it's done to make you, be endeared to this group, to make them a little more personable, to kind of bring you into the development process. But at the same time, it's like that guy's back is to us in the corner the whole time. This guy's monitor is not even on. You know, it just seems like so.
The thing that gets me is that guy's monitor has like this bright light going across it from the blinds in the window. It's like, oh man, that time of day I feel so bad, because I remember like when we used to have that at GT, and it was like, I can't stand to sit at my desk at this time of day. It's just terrible.
And the music choice is great at the beginning. I'm super on board. But then when we're just listening to these people talk and be very normal, it's
really distracting.
Very distracting, a little overbearing. So I would recommend switching out.
And the end is really funny here.
They're all saying
everyone's saying the release date, but some of them are into it, and some of them are really awkward. You're like,
I gotta say, October 21st is what he's doing right there. Yeah, I really like that too. Again, we're seeing the personality of their entire staff, but also they're drilling in that date. October 21st. Yeah.
I would like personality more if it was like a multiplayer event, and you really got to see them in a fun setting, as opposed to like, we need to work. We clearly have to stop our work to make this video. I give this a 7. I think it's very uncomfortable. I do think it will endear people to their game. I think it's good that they made this trailer, but I think if like the first shot is just them in their office, it's weird. It just doesn't sell it. And I think your game looks great and your camera work here doesn't. And I just think you need to match those things. If you're making a silly puzzle game with like turtles walking across a road, then yeah, do it. I mean, just get your buddy's DV cam and just record it really quick and throw it up. Doesn't matter. But if you're striving to show that this franchise isn't around, we've taken this franchise and we're bringing it to the next level. Do the same thing with your videos, or at least at least observe those things and try to meet the same quality as your game.
So my feeling on it is I had no awareness of this game before watching this, and I'm interested, right? And that is what a trailer tries to do, is get us to be interested in a game we may not have heard of before. So on that sense, it is a success. But yeah, clearly, poor productions here. There's but I mean, I've done my own share of jump cuts in the past, of course. Anyway, 7.6.
Man, October 21st, just like, I don't know. I don't know how in the world, I guess maybe I'll play it, if I were going to play it, maybe I would be playing it in December or something, but October 21st is rough. That's a hard time.
A critique of the release date itself.
You can't hold that against the trailer, bud.
But no, that's I mean, it's a true thing. Like, I've already had games this season, and they're like, hey, you guys gonna review them? Like, I don't know when.
Yeah.
I've got like so. But I don't know. Rating this trailer is a little weird, but I'd probably stick with a 7 as well.
That's safe. I like it. And you're also kind of getting a sense of Dan's madness. He wakes up in cold sweats in the middle of the night. October, just the strain of all the stuff we're reviewing this month. On to the next trailer. So this is a quickie from Dying Light, also from the team who brought us Dead Island. And they are selling the fact that you get to be a zombie in Dying Light, that there will be some kind of multiplayer mode. Smells like DLC, smells like a pre-order bonus or something, but like maybe it's just
it feels to me, I mean, again, it feels to me more like a, Dark Souls, Watch Dogs type of things, where you just jump into other people's games. Calling this thing a zombie is strange to me, though. This is a really fast, crazy monster.
Interesting that you would notice that. Yeah. I thought that, and I was like, am I just nuts here that they're like, oh, you can be a zombie? It's like, no, I'm the predator. I'm some weird tendril slinging crazy zombie, and I don't think this is a zombie type that we've seen in gameplay before. Just lots of interesting gameplay we're seeing for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's like prototype running around here, man.
I also think the whole concept of like, guess what, Kyle? You're gonna be the zombie. It's like, we've done that before. We did that in Left 4 Dead however many years ago. So it's not that unusual of a concept. And I wonder, if you're pitching something like this, should you just try to sell it as big as you can, or should you be aware of that? Should you say, yeah, we know that other games have done this, but this is the way we're doing it. This is the way it fits into Dying Light. It's a short trailer. It's just a tease.
So I was not even aware of the announcement that you would have that ability. And so there's no VO in this. You just see those huge words. And I think that's actually very, very effective. Sure, that's not a typical zombie, but the idea of going into someone else's game and being the zombie of their game is strangely appealing. more appealing to me than even like Dark Souls, where it's just like you almost feel bad for killing someone in Dark Souls. To me, the idea of like, oh, I can be a zombie, I can hop into your game and kill you as the zombie, I really, really like that. But I mean, as far as this trailer goes, there's something I really, really love is this purple, this blacklight aesthetic. Zombie games have the hardest time differentiating themselves than anything, right? Because there's just so many zombie games, they all look the same. I really, really like that they went for this effect, not just with in-game. I mean, this is what it looks like in-game, but they did this with their titles as well. So it leaves an impact, it leaves a theme, and it makes this game unique. I really, really like the way that this is a thematic trailer. It's an announcement of a mode, basically, and they somehow made that interesting.
Playing as this thing looks crazy and cool. This is the most interesting thing I've seen out of this game so far.
Doesn't look scary. I mean, it looks like you're super
very
powered.
much like a first-person Spider-Man, just jumping all over the place like nuts. The quick cuts help, I think, to kind of keep that momentum going. So I'm curious to see what it actually looks like when you're controlling it in a lengthy gameplay clip.
Before I score it, I will give a thumbs up and a thumbs down to this trailer. My thumbs up is there is a lot of gameplay. Not only of this mode, but just of Dying Light in general. We haven't seen a ton of footage of this game, and I like that they're introducing this mode, showing off all of these cool moves and stuff you can do, ways you can trap people. Thumbs down because the titles, I think, just, again, sell this concept like Dying Light is the first game ever to give you the control of being a zombie when you're fighting other humans, and it's something that we've had in video games, in first-person shooters with zombies for like a decade now.
Like invading their game, though? You're invading.
Specifically, it's you. They're like,
right.
You can be the zombie Kyle.
Uh-huh.
And that we've done that before. So that felt a little disingenuous to me, trying to sell that. I still enjoyed it. I would give it a 8.1.
I really like this trailer a lot for, those reasons I already talked about. I like the big dumb letters. They're distinct to me. Zombie, oh man, 8.8.
I think this looks fun. I think it's really fast. It has good momentum. Not amazed by the trailer, but definitely interested in the concept of playing as this thing, even if I don't want to call it a zombie. So yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Dear traveler, we have received your message that your vessel has been destroyed and your colleagues have been lost.
It is a tough sell to start a game with this is a game about writing.
Sure.
When I first read those words, I was like, okay, and then ended up being down with this trailer, being very curious about this game that I had not heard of, purely because of the concept that they announced to me in this trailer via text.
Yeah.
That's bizarre to me. That's totally unexpected. I think the biggest thing that I like about this, I'll give you time to kind of absorb it because you might just be watching it for the first time, but the sharing aspect I think is the biggest thing. I'm curious how accessible that is, if that's something that you can see in game or if you have to leave the game and go to a separate mode to really dig into what everyone else is doing. But I would be extremely curious to go check out, kind of like Dark Souls, where you see little writings where people will say, don't go down this hallway. There's like racing games where you can compare scores and stuff like that, or Walking Dead where you can compare percentages of who made what decision. Does this interest you, Kyle?
Well, I don't want to speak for the game because honestly, no, I don't care what you or Bloodworth has to say about these things that I've already explored. Like, I don't want to share my writings with you. But I think this is a really good trailer. I think that you're right. It's bold to start off with saying this is a game about writing, and they're proud of it. They're proud to say, hey, this is not going to be like another trailer you just watched. Really good music selection. I really like what they did there. And like you said, just clearly shows what this game is. Writing prompt, type here. And that is just for us watching this trailer to understand what your game is about. Great job selling your game. Great. Really hard thing to tackle. Hey, we haven't made a game about writing. Make a trailer for it that explains to people what that is. And they somehow pulled this off, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how these things kind of evolve, because you could go into this and you could be real serious. I was reading about their last days, and it was like, I was reading all of their Sunday funnies, and it's like you could get like these polar opposite interpretations of things, or people just taking different levels of seriousness.
If they had a voting system, I would want to see what everyone's favorite entry was.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
I'd be curious to check that out.
In a way, I'm curious about, like this, whether this is one of those games where people are going to question, like, is this even a game? Because it's like, how, do you win this or anything? Like, it seems to be more about, like writing your story based on, reacting to the things that they're presenting to you in the art.
I think it's an average trailer, which to me, average would be 7.5. Just kind of like, well done, I accept you. I don't have anything amazing to say about you. And I think just because it was text, again, a focus on text, blew my mind. Was not expecting that. I will up it to a 7.7.
One last thing I wanted to bring up that I actually really like: saving the accolades till the end. The game's been sold. Here's all this, and then also, hey, check these out, and they just kind of like fly at you. Their indie game awards and all the selections. Really like it. 9.4.
Wow.
I think this is about as good as a trailer can get for this game.
Sure.
They're communicating, or at least from what I can tell, it feels like they're communicating what the game is very well. You don't have any other kind of weird expectations on it or anything like that. It'll be intriguing to just pop in and see what it's like to read other people's impressions. So yeah, I think I'd go with maybe like a 7.5 and just kind of see where this goes.
Welcome to my church, away from church. I am Longinus.
Finally, you what?
You should open with this. This is the one where we're back. Let's look at the trailers is back. Here we go.
Far Cry, everybody.
Yeah.
This is hilarious, the little dancing man and the monkey.
Yeah.
We are going in alphabetical order. I made it to F, and then everything past F was all bad. It wasn't as good as these trailers from A to E. This is a game that we've heard about. We've seen a lot from Far Cry so far. I like that this character from this game is telling us about these weapons as opposed to some developer. I think that has way more of an impact. I found a tiny grin creeping on my face watching this, even though I don't care what you call these weapons. I don't care what...
Yeah.
I don't...
Oh, no, the names of the guns are like most boring things in the world, right? It's like MG42.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
We says like one gun will help you get out of any situation, and it's like, AKA your automatic rifle. It's like, I don't think you have many of those in this game. Far Cry, not necessarily, you played Far Cry 3, but not necessarily something that you think of, oh god, the amazing weapons that are in those games. It's mostly just the navigation of the world. Like that's really the big selling point, is how you can get around this world and explore new things. But it makes sense to have a weapons trailer. It's something that you kind of have to, a box you have to check if you're a shooter, if you're a AAA first-person shooter. And
well, I mean, this could be real boring, right? But they put a lot of time into making stylish decisions with this, and quick cuts and fun cuts, and seeing people's ragdolls fly around all over the place, and even like the titles with the I mean, they've been doing this the whole campaign, but with the dust flying off of them when they pop on the screen. It is kind of funny though, because I think one of the last times we had Far Cry 4 on here is like when they were taking the trip to the Himalayas, and we're talking about authenticity and everything, and they're all serious, and now it's like, we're back to goofy Far Cry, it's no big deal.
I was thinking about that the entire time, actually, because we learned, what was it, the kukri? We learned about those knives they use, and we learned about the historical significance. This trailer bums me out. It is only violence, and I think it's because I really like those documentaries they shot, where they're just like, and we wanted to go to the worlds and wanted to record their sounds. We wanted to know when they're praying what it sounds like, and now it's like, look at this. What are you doing here? Like, all of that's gone in this. This is only guns, and it's like celebrating the violence. He's just like, you will be happy to have this weapon. Really bums me out considering what we had seen before. It undoes a lot of what I think has already been done.
But I think what makes it work is that it's coming from this guy. Is that this character would talk about that. He would feel that way about guns. Like, that is his personality. And I think if you have characters that represent all the different themes in your game, and then you have trailers for those themes, and you use the characters to convey not only the information, but the tone in the game. Like, if we got into the game and he did not have this personality, then I think something was weird. Then I would think, okay, that guy's actually a really sweet, nice guy, and here he was really, boisterous and talking exuberantly about these weapons. But like, if that's his character, if you're being true to that character, and you wouldn't want a weapons salesman or a weapons trader in the game to be like, oh wait, I don't like guns. I don't think you should buy these or kill lots of people with them.
But he's being very jovial about it, I guess. This character is selling another character weapons, but this character is also selling people watching a trailer weapons, and so the lack of any separation there is really strange to me. We are the guy in his shop being like, yeah, I want that gun. And it's oh man, it makes me real uncomfortable.
I want your score. I want you to score this first, Kyle.
3.5. This trailer is offensive.
Is it 4 and then drops down to 3.5 because it's got
Because
a
of the
giant
pre-order
harpoon
now.
gun pre-order?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true.
Was a 4, bumped down to 3.5.
Okay, I was gonna give it an 8. You've convinced me to drop to a 7.8.
Okay.
But I do like it. It did make me smile. I did just watch like 50 trailers, and this one stuck out. And,
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. And put Far Cry on my radar. I'm eager to try it out. You have history with Far Cry. What's the score gonna be, Blood?
I'll balance you out to do an 8.2. Yeah, I think the pacing's fun, and especially seeing they're throwing in as many animals as you can think of in there. I'm curious as to what the most outlandish animal is going to be now. What is going to be like once you get through that game? What is that thing that they've been holding back on? Hopefully they've been holding back on something that you
Can't
don't
top
expect.
elephant. You can't top elephant.
Okay, everybody, that is the first part of Let's All Go to the Trailers. We are going to pick Trailer of the Week in the next episode because we're going to
Ooh.
talk about some other trailers. So if you want to find out what the Trailer of the Week is...
Oh my gosh, wow.
Stay tuned and watch part 2 of Let's All Go to the Trailers. If you're like, I got my trailer fill, I'm good, then you don't have to do anything. You can just get on with your life, and you don't have to spend more time with us. You can tune in next week. Again, I apologize for the absence of this show for far too long. Thank you guys for sticking around, and we'll see you next week.